say just one game could quite easily propel someone to the very top here. And we've already mentioned it, the caliber of the teams, anybody has a great opportunity of making that top 8.
Definitely, and most of the teams that is playing here today, they got most kill points, not as many placement points, because, I mean, they did get out early. Now, on the other hand, Rascal Justice is one of the teams who got a lot of placement points, but very little kill points. Only 8 kills, but they consistently get themselves into really good positions. Really, really, really good rotations.
How good?
Super good.
Really good.
I mean, I want to see them utilize that. When they get into those positions, start spreading out, take control over the area, and start killing people.
I mean, if Rascal Jesters is the yin, then Envy is the yang. They're the opposite, right? They struggled for placement, 2 placement points the whole time, but a ton of kills. I think 23 of them or something ridiculous. So they're the opposite side. And this really outlines to me the different styles of plays and strategies that are going to really make this elimination round very difficult.
Popping off already. VC Gaming looking to come in currently in first seed for this group as a whole and representing. I like their jackets. I want one of those. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can't miss them. When they walk through the room, you're like, oh, there's VC.
Yeah, for sure.
VC Gaming were on the cusp. I mean, it's going to be an easy way for him to get into the semis in my books here. They're sitting on the top currently with 30 points so far here in this group. And we said, what? The cusp is going to be around 55, 60 points?
They look,
2 games, they're probably set.
They looked extremely strong. 30 points is not, like, they were close. With this advantage here going in and how, like, the firepower that these guys have, easy.
To my surprise as well, a little bit, because when they came to the tournament, they were the team that actually qualified first year for PTC. So they have had a huge waft of time to be able to soak in all of the information from all of the other regions here, and it does look like they haven't squandered it, even though they're in elimination. They're at the top.
I mean, I'm going to take the position with these guys that I think that they had a blaster of a first match when it came to their game day. I'm worried because as the day went on, they sort of fell off, and honestly, they're not one of my picks to advance here today. I think that they need to have a big first game and sort of really pick up their performance. If you look at their placements and their kill count sort of combined, it a lot thrived on that first game or so, and they need more than that.
I'm going to go with a hashtag Frostbowl prediction there. That was interesting.
I'm not sure what that means, but it's bold. I don't know. I don't know. I'm worried about them.
Let's move on. We got Infantry coming up next as well here, and currently they sit with 27 points, tied up with the Rumblers at the very top there. So yeah, a lot of people thought that they might be able to have some big, powerful performances for us. They didn't quite live up to that, but they still have a good potential here.
At the same time, Erangel is their best map, and we're going to play 3 Erangel games here to start with. So if they get that good start, it's not going to be any problem anyway, because Sanhok, Miramar, sure, not as strong, but it doesn't matter if you have 3 good starting maps.
And also remember, they're not going to have Na'Vi contesting half of their drop spots, so they're going to be looking at a lot more space, a lot more car spawn, so I think that these guys are looking very good coming into the
I like that stuff. That's the kind of stuff I want to hear here, because obviously from lobby to lobby, that kind of shakeup is very important.
It is. It's going to give them a little more freedom, but on the other hand, Envy was sort of following them as we saw the first day and, you know, giving this constant threat of backstab throughout their games, and Envy's right back in this lobby. So depending on where those circles drop on the first 3 Erangel maps, if Primorsk is in play, then they're going to be chased every step of the way.
Let's add another team into that little pool there, and that's Detonator.
Sure.
They're also going to be on the same spot down on the southwest corner and trying to take a little bit of control,
that's a good
take
point.
all the vehicles. So, I mean, we might see some big fights happening really early in the Erangel games.
There are also some very good spots open for nobody has been looting them. So seeing that Enver is very good at flex dropping in the first group, I think they will be flex dropping in some of the open spots as well. Infantry, remember, Tembo did hot drop in the last game on Miramar. They're not going to be contested by Tembo either.
Correct.
So they are looking very good, in my opinion, here, Infantry. One of the top teams to go to the
I'll give you
semifinals, in my opinion.
3 big spots that is open right now. Milta Power, Yes Naya, South Georgia Pole. 3 very, very wanted drop spots.
Powerful locations.
Yeah, but no one is dropping there so far.
Yes.
We might see someone drop there today.
Let's talk about Sun Sister here for a moment from the PJS. These guys, I actually didn't really have many expectations for them coming in. However, they slightly surpassed my expectations yesterday. 26 points right now from Group B. They finished in technically with the amount of teams from Group B here. There's only 3 teams in the top 8 from Group B. They're the second one so far.
They're a team that I was hot and cold on. I thought maybe, you know, when they play in their home leagues, they sometimes show these spurts of really quality aggression that I think is good for them and shows some real skill. And I didn't know if we'd see it at this level, but that push against TSM we saw at the end of yesterday, where they just took the fight. They basically got spotted, and you could basically, Crazy Sam went, they're going to start throwing grenades at us. And you have a choice. You back off or you get under the grenades. And they did that. They pushed and they made the play.
Very strong opportunists in that moment.
Yeah.
Also, Kendesa, we saw some amazing shots from him. He took some of the guys out that were sailing
on the boat.
On the boat.
Oh, yeah.
His long-range fights are on point, so I'm looking forward to follow that throughout the day as well.
Definitely so. Froz, your thoughts?
I think that their fragging power is better than their rotations.
Okay.
And they need to rely on that, and then they want to play edge. We've seen them play a lot of edge. So if they can take the right fights, determine, is this the right one, or should we back off from this one? That's how they're going to win today.
I'm good with that. Thank you. Atletico going to be another team we're going to be keeping an eye on here, because again, you know, it bears repeating. At the beginning of the segment, I said, guys, last time they were at an international event, it was a second place. They could have even won that against a huge swath of the big, strong regions in the world.
I mean, I asked their shot caller, Zoidmate, what is the key to victory for you here? And he said, we can't repeat the hot, cold start that we had at the regional qualifiers.
Right.
Unfortunately for them, there's been a lot less heat than there has been chill at the start of this so far. So we need them to turn up those burners and really kick it in, because this is a team that I expected to easily kind of push through in the 8, and now I'm really worried about it.
I mean, guys, they're from Australia. They should be able to deal with the heat, no? What is this?
Well, the heat is only going to be on Miramar, though, right?
Yeah, true.
So, starting off from Ariel, they weren't too strong on that map. But they do have Rosok for himself, hopefully, today.
Which in the last group, they had a lot of people around them. The liquid spread. They had 4 angry men right below them. They are isolated this time.
They still have QM kind of close to them, so we'll see how that's going to go out. If they're going to bully each other, or if there's going to be a hard line between them, they're going to already split up from the start. As you said, Frost, yes, Naya is open, so if QM decides to go in that direction, it's going to be looking very good for Atletico.
Yeah, but at the same time, Rosok is such a central point on the map that it's so easy. If you get the vehicles, you can easily start rotating very early and get yourself into a good position no matter where the circle goes.
I mean, I think Atletico right now leads to light some incense and hope that one of these first 2 circles is on that northwest part of the island, or the landmass, because they have nothing standing between them and quick positioning and probably some good kickoffs. So that would be a great way for them to start this tournament.
A circle ritual, is that how that works? That's just the norm, I guess. Nice.
I mean, you do what you got to do to win, right?
I guess so, yeah. Detonator going to be another one of our teams here, coming in from South Korea. They haven't had the easiest of roads whatsoever. But someone like Aqua 5 has stood out in the past. You can think about something like PNC, for example. When we saw him playing for South Korea, I was happy to see him there. What are your thoughts about Detonator coming in? Hopeful, not so hopeful? What are your thoughts?
I'm hopeful. I also saw Hikari tweet today. He's very proud, of course, to be here.
Yeah.
And he's looking to, of course, perform. They know that the last team from PKL, they want to make sure that 6 out of 6 of the PKL teams go through to the semifinals today, of course.
I want to see Wicked actually explode today.
Yes.
We didn't see that happen, but today should be the time. It needs to be the time for him to explode.
I think that's absolutely right. They're going to be sharing their drop point potentially if it's an early plane out of that sort of southwest with Envy. I think maybe it's time, and you know, as much as I like to see Envy do well, for Detonator to just throw down and say, let's explode out with 4 points right away and take some fights.
I actually doubt that. I think Envy they were flex trapping so well.
Yes.
I think they will go off them. I think Detonator will keep their spot in the Primorsk area, maybe even expand a little bit on the west coast, because Krokot doesn't go that far west. They stay in their Gatka area, so I think Detonator will be very isolated down there in the southwest. Infantry will be the closest in the Therapy area.
I mean, Envy probably did their homework, and they know that South George is open as well, so they could basically just take the cars on the west road and just drive up north.
Or even Milta Power. Like, I expect them to go in that area.
Jeez, guys, light the fuse. Cool guys don't look at explosions. All of these.
That was pretty good.
All you guys are just all over the place with these ones. You love them. But anyway, and that is Detonator, of course. We're going to be moving on in a few moments' time to one of our last teams that we're going to be looking at. And that will be one of the teams that is on a lot of people's lips right now. And it is Team Liquid. Suffice to say, gentlemen, here, when it comes to a team that was looking to compete to become PGC World Champion, right now, it does not look great for them. The Blast yesterday was not a good start.
You can have a really bad first day.
Yes.
But when we have a double in resistance like this, there's no excuse. I talked a bit to the guys. I'm expecting these guys to go through no matter what, honestly.
Right.
2 bad days in a row is not going to happen for them. No chance.
One of the big issues they had yesterday was that they were contested on every map where they wanted to drop. and they were forced out. They did not drop where they normally go. Now, today, it's another story, though. They got red cannons in Pochinki, but I think they're still going to drop there because they saw what happened yesterday when they didn't go there. Same thing with Miramar. No one's in Picado. Let's go there. Let's take that all for ourselves.
I mean, the reality is, look at Samty's numbers right now. 0.3 average kill, 140 average damage. They struggled. They got 2 points per game for Liquid. They were playing dry, and it is not going to happen. If they don't pick it up in the first 2 games, look for Liquid to evaporate and be knocked out of this competition.
They're here for the extra day. They wanted more scrims. That's why.
That's We'll see.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We have summed it up nicely for you. It is time, as we have 6 games coming your way. 8 will advance on, and 8 will be eliminated.
Every team can have one bad day at this event, and every one of these teams here today is hoping that day has already passed. We're going to be sending 8 teams on to next week and 8 teams home. My name is Matcham, joined by my boy over here, Paperthin, and we're going to be taking you through the first 2 games, and it has got a lot going into it.
It's a double elimination, so we're into the first round of eliminations. 8 teams go home today, and starting with the Basic Global Summit, coming to the GLL and the MET, then the PNC, all leads up to this, to today. This is a big moment.
This is a full year of these guys playing competitively. So much hopes and dreams ride on this moment right now. This is their last chance. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of these guys making every single play that they can potentially get 1, 2 points here and there. There's a lot of fan favorites in this group worldwide that we're going to have to keep an eye on.
I mean, there's 2 regions that are facing elimination today, potentially, Japan and Latin America. Are they going to show up? Are they going to come through? I think right now we saw some sparks from both of these regions, but we haven't seen the fire yet, Matra.
Well, we're about to start seeing the fire. The plane is up and in the air. We've got our first game set and ready to go. It's going to be a little bit spicy. Plane path up towards the north, flying right over Georgia Boy. Analyst Desk was talking about the fact that this is an open area. A couple of teams might opt into dropping very early, and it's going to end over Milta Power. So Southern-based team's going to have a little bit of trouble right out the get-go. It's going to be GEX.
All right, how spicy is it going to get over Georgia Pole? We're seeing a few teams popping out their infantry as well. Crow Crowd seeing, but it looks like they're heading a little bit more north. So it looks like GEX is going to be controlling most of Southern Georgia right now.
We do have Sun Sisters making the push up towards the north. They've got infantry along with them. A couple teams already dropping out. It's going to be QM. Team Liquid looks like they're making that push back down towards Pochinki. They want their home back. A lot of these teams also jumping out. We've got Detonator, Rascal Jester as well, and it looks like the last couple of teams are going to be Envy dropping out right at the tail end of this, as well as Armored Gaming running a 2-2 split potentially.
Yeah, I think a lot of these teams are very happy that today they are able to go more towards their comfort zones than they were previously.
Duck Mans!
Of course.
What are you doing? You're right in the middle of all of the rumblers. I know you like to get mixed up and get into all these other teams, but you're still in a parachute right now, buddy. He is just chasing after them, and he's the only person on his team. The rest of his team has all gone down towards the south.
Well, this is really fascinating. He could just be looking for a vehicle here, Matcham, and then he might just piece out of the situation. But this is what really hurt Armory Gaming on their first day in the group stage was Duckmans was not able to get it done.
Stallburst Circle to start it, Paper. Let's go. All right, so you can see Detonator's happy over in Yasnaya, but a lot of these teams back down towards the south, taking a couple of pot shots already, as it looks like that farm area is very contested.
Well, I tell you what, Detonator's got to be real happy that nobody was thinking about going Yaz. They really don't go here ever, but it was open today, as the analyst desk mentioned. Detonator are going to be the ones that are going to take advantage of it.
Rumblers coming in, the last pick inside of this event, but actually coming out pretty decent points to start the day so far. Remember, from the first 2 days, your points do carry over, so that gives you that little bit of a comfort zone. If you did pretty well in the previous days, now you come in with a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, there's only 17 points separating the very top of this group from the bottom, as you can see there on the left-hand side of your screen. So one good game, one 7-kill win, and you're right back in it.
So we do have, looks like Duckman didn't manage to meet up with the rest of his team. We're going to start a little bit of a trek early, but that's going to be VC Gaming. It's already positioned around this location. You can see DJ Boy already down inside a prison doing a little bit of looting. VC has a split that's running from Shelter a little bit further north from that as well. And look, Team Liquid's got to be pretty happy. They have themselves a nice, comfortable home. This is their
preferred looting position and not contested this time.
I think it's pretty interesting that we're seeing Team Liquid here today. Of course, no one expected that. I got to be honest with you, Detonator was probably a little sad going into this because Pachinki has been theirs in the PKL when they're not going up against Entis Force. But you know what? With the way the circle worked out, they got Yaz for free and things are all right there.
So it's kind of interesting that Pachinki not in the circle. That's one of the reasons why it is so contested very regularly. But we have a far northeastern circle coming into play inside of this. So that Yasnaya area, Stalber could be a big factor. Early rotations also could be quite big in this, as you're seeing a lot of these teams still moving around. Armory Gaming, I don't think has had a chance to really get much other than vehicles. And they can just not, they can't find anywhere to stop at.
Yeah, right now there's nothing available. There's VC who's spread out all over the place. Rumblers as well in the Polka and the Mansion area. So Armory Gaming might have to head quite far north to find a suitable loot location.
Well, luckily with this circle, that's not going to be too bad. But the problem is whenever you go north, whenever you're around Stalber, Kameshki, that's not necessarily the loot nodes you want. You want to try to loot up as quick as possible. Now they're really on damage control. A couple of these teams are trying to figure out, okay, what do we do next? Early rotations could be a big factor for Stalber, as it is very difficult to kind of rotate into depending on the pathing that you take. So a lot of these teams are already trying to buy in for low ground positions, get a little bit of control in that spot. But actually, that's going to be Infantry Gaming losing a member already.
That's big. A great start for Juxi and Athletico. Not the start that Infantry Gaming wanted. In transition there, losing a member. Athletico is making their way past all of this. Happy to pick up the 1 kill and continue on.
I don't know what is going on with Infantry. They came in, a lot of people were expecting a lot out of them. I was one of them whenever I was watching some of the scrims. I know I never like to talk about scrims because who cares really what happens in scrim performance, but they were much more aggressive. And somehow they've just gone from being infantry to being just very iffy in their play.
The top fragging team from China coming into this event. They were averaging something like 5 kills a match.
Rascal Jester getting a couple of shots coming at him. Mushi gets dropped right off of that, and he's going to go ahead and be taken down. So Mushimuro is out.
Not the start Rascal Jester is looking for. They were living by placement points, and they need members up to get into there. We want to see them start fragging a little bit more. The opposite end of them, Sun Sister, they are up rotating around the north side of Stalber. They were the opposite. They were able to get a lot of their points on kills.
Heavens, looks like it might be a little bit contested as Envy's coming right up into the gunshots. That's going to be Pat just dropped out, and look at that. That's the DP coming in strong. That is a ton of bullets, but even if he reloads, he's not even going to be able to max out.
Only 41 bullets left, but hopefully Summer can find something else to work with besides that DP. Envy is realizing that, yes, indeed, this compound up on the hill is taken, so they're just going to roll around. Now taking some shots at Rascal Jester is Hikari from Detonator. He looks like he landed a couple onto Wesker, but isn't yet able to complete it.
Rascal Jester in a lot of trouble, just narrowly getting away from that. They do have a little bit area towards the north that they might be able to try to make it, but they just have to continue to run through this gauntlet of team after team, as so many are playing around Yasnaya, and I feel like a lot of these teams thought this would be the safe path, and instead there's so many teams already stacked up here.
Yeah, a lot of teams made really aggressive early rotations. Armory Gaming, the Rumblers, Detonator was already in Yasnaya, so a lot of this ground was already covered. And here you can see W-Clicks coming into this as well.
Another contender to this mix, driving through an absolute bloodbath location. Looks like they're going to be stopping around this forest, which can be quite strong depending on how the circle flows through, but you can see these shots coming back over towards Infantry. Just gets dropped out of that UAZ, and then it's just a quick follow-up coming from Athletico, who already has that first kill.
Ooh, double headshots from the boys on Athletico. That is some seriously good shooting. You can see Crow Crowds going up onto the mountain.
Everest? But there's guys,
you get some information.
Guys,
you see everything.
This isn't in circle, and everybody's like 2 kilometers away from you.
This is
like,
Gen G plays. They watch
there's
Gen
no
G do this all
information to
the
be
time.
had, guys. It's fine. It's okay. You can go on, try to find out what's going on in the circle. It'll be okay.
Well, it looks like they're all right, and they are going to move ahead of the blue. It doesn't look like anyone's going to really opt to take any blue damage, take any late rotations. G2 is coming up from the south of Milta. The Red Canids, they are going up to the north of Razak, just north of the river there, and everyone else is kind of clustering towards the center already.
Yasnaya is very populated right now. Everybody is just hanging out in the suburbs, all those houses just outside of the main city itself. Almost every one of them has some form of team inside of them right now, be it in a split or just 4-man up and strong. So these late-coming teams have to be very cautious. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of them play edge. G2 looks like they're one to push through, maybe go a little bit deeper into this until we see the next circle. Really, it's going to kind of be where we optimize and see a lot of these guys go for a more preferred situation, because chance we could go centralized, but there's still a chance we could go way up north over towards Stalber or way back down towards the south. I mean,
there's even a chance we could go back over towards school.
Yeah, absolutely. With so much on the line here today, the teams are going to play a little bit more passive. We were wondering if there'd maybe be some hot drops or something like that, but so far, no one's really interested in kicking things off yet. Everyone's just trying to take territory and control as much as they can.
I feel like every single one of these teams were like, no, we need every point. Hell no, we're coming in with gusto today. Every person that drives by us, we're going to try to kill. We got Crow Crowd coming in. They're still got about 600 meters to go, and I think the closest team to them is still about 1.5 kilometers away, so should be able to rotate in fairly easy if they opt into staying towards edge. The problem with it is, if we do end up with a centralized circle, that is going to be very dangerous for a couple of these teams coming in late.
All right, Kendes, he is trying to get some shots onto Sophia, who is driving through from GEX, has to go all the way over to the beach to avoid damage. Crazy Sam is setting up here, though. A great maneuver here by Sam. Potentially could get this member of GEX. Gabba's here as well. No damage connected, though, from Gabba. Some pretty good rips. Finally able to get some shots in. Can Crazy Sam finishes? Yes!
There we go! Sun Sister has been running this aggressive split on where they know people are going to rotate through. We talked about the gauntlet of teams. They're a gauntlet of one team right now with the way they set up. I've been really intrigued by the way Sun Sister plays out these early games, and it seems to be quite favorable for them. Where's that new circle going? And it's back a little bit centralized, but towards the west.
Yeah, heading more towards school, like you were kind of talking about earlier. Yasnaya, all of it still very in it here. And Sun Sisters is going to have to make a big rotation themselves. They covered a ton of territory on the eastern edge of the coast, but we've centered up a little bit, and a lot of teams are going to be on the move. Red Canids and Crow Crowd are up on the north there, so they're going to be trying to find some way in, and they're probably going to have to cross that bridge. Hopefully, they can get across safe.
This is such a dangerous place to play this early. You look at all these hills, all these trees. People could be hiding anywhere. Look how close these players are coming towards each other. Looks like Ribbo has an idea that Tanawat might be moving in front of him, feeding that information over. W-Click playing this a little bit more passive right now. Love the fact that we're getting the Toby eye tracking right now, so you can see how Armory Gaming and they're moving through this very difficult terrain piece and how they're trying to survey what's going on around them.
But look at the guns that Armory Gaming has, Matcham. I saw a shotgun and a VSS.
It's that late rotation because they were caught up so long just trying to find somewhere to loot, and they didn't get a good loot spot. Now they're just walking into a very dangerous spot right now. And I look at this. I mean, what? We're probably about 20 meters away from two different teams. We've got Liquid also prepping the grenade. Going to go ahead and take out Shinobi potentially. That might be a little bit too far, but he's as good as dead right now unless reinforcements come over here. And I don't think that we're going to see anybody moving aggressively towards Liquid's position right now.
No, that's going to be Shinobi dead to rights here. Ibby's grenade did most of the damage. It looks like he is probably going to bleed out. I think at this point, Rascal Jester just needs to regroup, and the fight has broken out. Tanawat has been knocked by Raibo.
But Sun Sister is here as well. This is a 3-team fight. Tanawat is already down. Raibo's still trying to feed over that information to the rest of his team. Looks like Sun Sister might actually end up just crashing on the backside of Armory Gaming. Duckman's in a position to take a couple of shots, but can't connect due to a nice reposition coming up from Sun Sister. Armory Gaming already down 2. Just Duckman's alive right now, is having to run back over towards that shack.
And nothing but a DP and an SKS available here for Duckman. The rest of Armory Gaming is getting cleaned up. Love the aggression here from Sun Sister. This is what I wanted to see out of them coming into today. Just play to your strengths, and that is fragging.
Leave nothing on the table. See every single person moving as potential points because you're going to need them all. Sun Sister actually at the top of the kills leaderboard. Good job with Gabba right now, but Duckman's full defensive. Got the DP down, just waiting for somebody to walk through there.
He's just going to have to hide and try to play the snake for Armory Gaming. Crow Crowd coming up here. They have set up. They went way south. They went south of school. They're to the northeast.
I think that's what they had to do. They came in so late. They just have to play back down towards the edge. There could be a team that's wrapping back around towards them. Team Liquid on the move right now, as well as Athletico doing a little bit of a reposition, trying to figure out exactly where they want to go. Slow moving through this. Looks like Team Liquid has found that their home that they're wanting to stop at. They do have Liquid. I mean, they have G2 that's coming up next to them and Athletico as neighbors.
Look at this spread that Liquid has. You've got Jeems all the way over at the crossroads. Samty right in the middle of the field to the south of Yasnaya. Jemty and Ibby still in the southwest corner of Yasnaya.
Tires are stupid anyway. Who needs tires, right? I mean, just at this point, just drive out in the grass. It'll get you there sooner or later. Don't worry, it'll be fine. You're just driving across a wide open field with 56 alive. Sun Sister's thinking the same thing, but a lot of bullets coming his way right now as he gets dropped off of that, and that's going to be Gabba, who was our kill leader, but Not going to be able to get any more.
Yeah, some good shooting there from W-Click, catching the Sun Sisters in transition. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to push through. They've got Duckmans and the Rumblers in front of them as well coming into this next circle, which has still got a lot of Yasnaya in it.
This is going to be good for Team Liquid as they were having a little bit of trouble getting out of the spot. Now all those teams back over towards the east. Going to have to figure out what do we do inside of this forest. They're all stacked up next to each other. Looks like Liquid has decided, okay, James, just come back over towards us, maybe making his way back over towards Samty. They could have a nice split across this field, maybe try to collect a couple more points. Atletico making their rotation in on foot and in vehicles right now, trying to spot out Red Canids in their rotation.
Some excellent rotating here from Team Liquid, covering a ton of ground, knowing that there's still a lot of field in this circle. Giving themselves the southwest corner on Yasnaya gives them an easy out.
G2, you need points right now. You can't let these teams just keep driving by you. They're not even taking shots at these rotations or moving into any aggressive point. They're very low on the leaderboard, and every single point that they don't get could be huge for them.
This is a wild circle, but Yanis taking some shots at Rusty Zera, getting a little bit of damage in. Now doing some poke shooting there. Nothing else connecting. Rusty Zera is able to get into a ditch.
I like it. Yanis by himself deciding to go ahead and take the shots. Feels like it might be a little bit free. Get some aggro back towards him, but he should be able to make it back over towards his teammates. Just rotate, use the hill. Nice reposition coming out from him. Just has to keep caution as he's progressing through this, as he does have Envy in between him and his teammates.
The messed up part about this circle is it is like 70% fields in Yasnaya.
Yeah.
There is not a lot to work with.
You're going to see it slowly. If it moves back over towards Yasnaya again, it's just going to be everybody crashing back into that location. I got to say, we've seen some crazy rotations coming in when everybody decides that they just have to crash towards Yasnaya. It is just like 20 cars rolling in all at once, and it is a beautiful thing to watch.
Summer is going to be picking up that AUG. That's some nice addition, some nice firepower there for VC. Let's see if they could put it to use. They're still maintaining that compound. A lot of people call it a god compound up on top of that hill. You can see so much from up there. And now we've got G2 coming across them. They might be taking some shots. GEX has moved in just north of Team Liquid.
Oh no, Nellas going to be running right up next. W-Click Grenade's going to come out. Going to be a little bit too far. The spray is going to try to connect most of it back over towards the vehicle, but the vehicle explosion does come through. He does manage to jump out of it, but does get knocked. So that's just going to be a flush, and that's G2 member down.
Yeah, VC picked up one of those kills. W-Click gets the other one. So some big points here early. You can already see we've got some kills on the left there. Rybo's got 2, Summer's got 2. So a good start here for VC.
But I think that during rotation, Yanis also went down, so that's going to make it down to 2 members from G2 at this point. They do have the other 2 members in a complex and in control, but Crow Crowd still just trying to make it a little bit further forward, trying to meet up with their teammates. Looks like they've opted into a little bit of a dip. I think they should be able to make it from here on out, just provided, you know, you gotta slam on the brakes, be careful around your teammates, and actually, no, opting away from it, just gonna continue up and forward. I think the Crow Crowd's just trying to find a little bit more of that information they were trying to get earlier. New circle does pop, Yasnaya and Fields, that's about it.
This is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. QM and Team Liquid have about the safest compounds inside of this, and Duckmans is gonna go down.
That's going to be Armory Gaming, the first team out inside of this game. So now we go towards the fields and the craziness that's about to happen. It looks like Atletico has decided that they're just going to push directly up in this general direction. Run right into Team Liquid. Joseph gets knocked down from this, but the other members of Atletico are stopping right on top of it. Samty's looking back around this angle. He's not going to be able to spot out Flood very easily. Team's trying to go for the reposition back over towards this, but it's going to be Samty that just pops out, gets 2 of them real smooth.
Samty, a great job hiding inside of that crate. Atletico had no idea he was there. They do now. Flood's able to return fire. Just 9 hit points left. Jempty trying to provide some cover fire.
It's the support coming out from Yasnaya. They're trying their hardest to protect their boy. Got to be careful with these grenades back and forth. Flood's pretty low on life. Samty's trying to figure out what he's going to do in the situation. Grenade takes him down, and Atletico is eliminated. That means that Samty is going to be safe for now.
Big time moment there for Team Liquid. They are able to defend it. They lose James along the way, but still 3 strong. Pick up some big kills for themselves.
Everybody is trying to figure out, what do we do with this circle? It is just wide open fields and Yasnaya. Right now we have about 6 teams vying for different points around Yasnaya, and everybody else is just playing along edge or trying to find some dip in that field to play.
This is just one of the most brutal circles you can have here. There is so much open space, not a ton of hard cover around. and Crow Crowd's trying to make the best of it they can.
And the problem with it is so many of these teams are already setting up a line on the southern part of Yasnaya. So if you decide to send it because you just realize you have nowhere else to go, you are going to die. So all these teams now force this. Play edge, figure out, okay, what dip can we maybe play? As you can see, G2 trying to use a car for cover and circle 4. Crow Crowd's trying to get a couple of shots back over towards the Canids, but looks like he's just going to retreat back and try to opt into grenades instead.
Oh, if this grenade can connect, it's going to be pretty good, but Psycho is able to get out of range of it.
They're on
Now
vehicles.
T2 and the others are coming in.
They tried to hop into vehicles to go for the reposition, but Crow Crowd decides to step up, take the shots back down towards them. Now got to be careful as retaliation shots come back for it. Psycho goes down inside of a vehicle explosion to follow that up. Now Taro looking at the backside of Crow Crowd, and that's going to be one of them dropped as Nookie just gets taken out of the game.
This is a 4-way battle. VC was even getting in on all of this. Misa trying to make something out of it. There's only 2 standing now for Crow Crowd. They do confirm the kill onto Andy.
With all that hesitation, trying to grab so much information, they wanted to make sure they had a clean rotation, and they could just never get all the information that they so desperately wanted. Meanwhile, Envy still on the hunt, throwing some long-range Hail Mary grenades, hoping maybe they will connect. The other 2 members of Crow Crowd just huddled down next to burning wreckage, trying to use it for cover.
Oh, Misa takes some big damage there as the grenades are starting and continuing here from Envy. We've got that one coming up short, though. Let's see if they can get another one through if they have any more. I see Pride is cooking one right now, up and over, but it looks like that one is going to miss.
This positioning is just set up and ready to go. They know Envy. They are like, okay, we've got to get rid of these guys. We can't have them come back and backstab us. So trying to get a little bit more information. Smokes are out in different angles, so now starting to make the push across 2 different points. Now, Crow Crowd has to figure out how they're going to handle this. They don't have much cover to work with, so just retreating back a little bit further, hoping that the new circle is going to force Envy to move away, and it is, as it's another Yasnaya circle.
And I find it really interesting that QM moved into those apartments right away on the previous circle. They abandoned where Rusty Zera is now and moved out, and it looks like it's going to pay off for them. W-Click's making an aggressive rotation. Moody's getting some long-range shots onto its Chris.
That was some good follow-up from Taro and Moody there, connecting onto those. W-Click tried to make the push back over towards Yasnaya, but look at that mini-map. It is covered right now. They just got decimated, lost 2 of their members coming through. Rumblers trying to figure out, okay, where do we go next? They've got VC right up next to him, and here's this. The grenade might be able to connect. It's going to roll back down right into the pocket, narrowly moving away from it. That's going to be 2 down off of it. So now what do? VC's just going to come running up this hillside, and Rumblers are just getting torn apart.
The Chinese team just dismantles the Rumblers there. Great use of their grenades. They had all the grenades available because they were able to sit on top of that compound for so long, never had to engage anyone except for long-range fights.
Team Liquid took a couple of long-range shots. You can see Abisa off to the side, down right now. Envy trying to get a little bit more control. Looks like Team Liquid's trying to get those reses off. Tide sitting at the top of the kills with 3 right now. I think most of those are probably Rumblers.
Yeah, a lot of that was the Rumblers. They caught some pieces of some other fights along the way as well. Just because up on that hill, they had so much vision of this circle, they were able to pick apart some of the other fights that were going on. But now we've got Ibby knocked over there.
Yeah, Liquid was trying to make the cross, throwing down the smoke wall, trying to make their way over there. It's going to be another grenade coming out from GEX. Now it is just Jimty. He is the last guy alive. This is twice now that there has been one member of Team Liquid trying to figure out how to do damage control and get the reses back over there. EB is just essentially dead. There's no way they can make the cross. You can see GEX playing it a little bit more aggressive, and Jimty's like, no, I can't die at this stage. They cannot go out in 13. Team Liquid can't afford that.
He's so low. Here comes some more grenades. That one just comes up short, hits in front of the wall. Ibby is going to be confirmed by a nice grenade from Leo, but Zamty does in fact go down, but the kill is going to be stolen by Wu Fang.
Just sitting off the side, says, thank you. I'm glad that you crawled off this direction. I like that from Team Liquid. It's like, we're at least not going to give the kills to the guys that downed us. Let's at least move it over here and give it to someone else. So, really, it's the story of Yasnaya and everybody else that's not inside it right now. We've got Crow Crowd that has managed to make it over towards those yellows, just towards the south, but they do have one friend in Rusty Zero right next to him.
Well, it's been a quiet game here for the Red Canids. They've been beat up along the way. So let's see if Rusty can weather the storm. It's a 2v1 potentially. Envy is looking at this situation as well, but Envy's looking like they might want to move a little more west. G2 Brexico, he's the last one up there for them. So we are just waiting to see where this one goes.
It is VC, and then everybody else in the fields is just almost dead at this point. We've got Envy that's running on 2 players. New Circle does pop, still maintains Yasnaya, so a lot of those guys that are towards the center part of Yasnaya feeling pretty good. everybody that's still inside the fields is cussing at the top of their lungs.
Yeah, this is disastrous. It is going to be so hard to get in there. One team, or maybe two, is basically going to be able to get in from the southern part of this. There just isn't a lot of cover to work with. All the teams inside the city will be able to see you moving around, so it's going to be difficult.
I don't think the Crow crowd knows exactly where we can see Rusty Zira is at. They're throwing out grenades. I think that they probably heard some footsteps, but haven't been able to locate them yet. These guys are going to have to rotate fairly close to each other while they're going to have VC that's kind of overwatching this whole situation. If we see Crow crowd decide to step around this corner, you can see Rusty Zira just ready to go. At least get one more point before he goes down, but I don't think that Crow crowd's going to make the push that direction. Meanwhile, Envy, it's Send It time. At least get to that rock. They got smokes out trying to get a little bit more cover for it. Moody's going to just drive right through them, but it's just going to be a ton of teams looking back down towards it. They do manage to make it to one hay bale, and a second one just narrowly, and that's going to be their life for quite a while now as Rusty Zira slowly creeping on the move around here, looking through, and it's a reverse trap now as Crow crowd is set up and waiting for him, and the shots come through, and that's going to be Red Canids eliminated.
All right, a disappointing start for the Canids today. Another point for Crow crowd. They only have 2 members up, and they have a very difficult rotation ahead of them. You can see this. Hikari gets the knock onto Dome, and he is down, but more fire coming in from Hikari. He wants to see if he can get a little more of this.
So we got VC that's just playing in this position. They were kind of the kings of the field right now, but the problem with it is there's way more people inside the buildings right now, and so they have lots of nice high sight lines back down on this. It's going to be one of the members of Crow crowd taken down from that same firing range. It's almost like everybody inside the city has decided to join forces against everybody in the field, and you can see it's going in the city's favor.
Yeah, the crisscross was coming there onto Teme. He had no chance. There were 3 or 4 teams shooting at him there. Now it's up to Misa for Crow crowd. He's throwing down the smoke while trying to come up and over the hill, jumping up, seeing if he can get this grenade in onto Envy. Let's see if it's close. There's Liga, who's also shooting into this now. A little bit more damage taken onto Misa as Pride is running for his life.
This isn't even a third party anymore. This is just a 12 party. It's everyone shooting everything that they can see. And I gotta say, these Envy guys are just trying to scramble around, see if they can find anything for cover. Moody's still pretty in an okay spot, but he has to be very cautious if VC decides to look back this direction or Crow crowd.
Yeah, VC, it's going to be difficult for them because they've got Detonator controlling their position. They can't really pop up too much, maybe a little bit, but it's risky for sure. You can see GYY trying to finish off Moody.
QM sitting at 6 kills right now, and it's just due to that position. New circle pops. QM still maintains their building control right now, and everybody at Yasnaya finally gets to see how it feels as they have to move their way into the fields as grenades coming back and forth. One of the members from Detonator is down, but you can see Sun Sister has a lot of company right on the other side of that wall. Has to be very cautious on how they choose to approach them.
Wow, watch Ragnar here up for W-click. He's solo in that building. His other teammates are in front of him, but he's the only one there. Does anybody have any clue that he is there? He could play the spoiler here for the Sun Sisters.
Let's just go ahead and throw down 8, 9, 10, 12 smokes at this point. That isn't even a road anymore. It is just a giant patch of fog as everybody's going to try to start making the push off the side of this. It's going to be Detonator slow moving off of it. Sun Sisters trying to get a more defensive position. Ragnar could come up big for them. He is a distraction towards Sun Sister. Meanwhile, Detonator is making the push over. Ragnar is going to get the down and a flush very quickly. That's going to put Sun Sister on the back foot, trying to figure out what the hell is going on around him. Crazy Sam's out walking through the smoke like, what's going on? Detonator's already made the cross and is just starting to walk through the rest of Sun Sister.
Oh, but they're getting blown up as they cross. Isco and Aqua 5 have gone down. Now it is Ragnar backing up the stairs, seeing if he can confuse a few more people. Hikari looking through the smoke. There isn't anything visible yet. You can see the smoke ticking down. It's really neat how you can see the timer going down on that smoke. Grenade coming down from Ragnar. It's just the stun. Hikari's in the bathroom popping.
He's pushing it.
He knows Ragnar's gonna get him.
Decides to walk up, take it, gonna go ahead and spray him down. Ragnar is just holding that position. Looks like Wickeds decide that he wants to join this party as well. Just heard the shots. Ragnar closes out, steps up, takes another one. Ragnar is just on fire.
Ragnar with 4 kills. 3 on Detonator, 1 on the Sun Sisters. What a positioning advantage he had there. He was just inside that house. No one knew he was there until it was too late, and he's able to blow up a couple different teams.
See his man move back over towards the fields. They have that position back over next to Moody. Going to go ahead and drop him down. A lot of these teams now condensing around the area we saw QM a second ago. Wesker's going to take the shots back over towards Ragnar. He is going to get taken out. This is a very dangerous peak. If you're Wesker, you're going to assume it low, and instead it's going to be that high position. Going to go ahead and drop him. Feed that information over very quickly. Sills is trying to figure out what he's going to do. He's going to get dropped out, and W-click is eliminated.
Jaws has just got to go. He's got to go. We'll see if he can get that res there. It's Baolang. He is looking around the corner. Gex is
Walk out
out
that
here.
door.
He kind of knows, and man, this is tight. We are going to have a field finish.
You can see everybody stacked up around these buildings. Infantry is just trying to walk through it, and it's just death and destruction off to the side. Meanwhile, GEX is just trying to hold the line for themselves. This was their home for quite a while, and everybody's trying to encroach back over towards it. So we've got Leo on the outside. You can see Lungster's just going to go ahead and throw out a grenade, see if maybe he can get something out of that. Rascal Jesters back over towards the east, trying to figure out if they're going to make an approach onto it. So many teams damaged right now, trying to just do as much damage control as possible.
Well, GEX has a really nice position here to contain a lot of these teams. The problem could be VC coming in. They might be able to third-party them as they try to blockade this exit out of Yasnaya.
Like this, QM has opted for the high ground, get more control over it. Sooner or later, it's probably going to move away from you. Circle's going to be harder, as you can see right now. But for this moment, you can get a lot of information, maybe pick up those really needed kills. Goes for the jump across, not going to quite connect. Not going to take a ton of damage, though, but that's what those smokes are there for. Thank you, Infantry, for dropping those. So now looking back over towards it, shot's going to come out from Infantry, and GYY is just going to lay down.
Yeah, he's just going to try to get this heal off. Grenades are cooked and coming through from Lin. GYY is going to get caught by a very nice grenade from Lin. He is basically dead to rights. The circle is in and on him. His teammates are trying to open the door for him. Wu Fang cooks a grenade. Is he just going to throw it in?
Oh, but
look at this. Luxker.
Luxker decides to push in. The rest of infantry is falling right back behind that. They're using the smokes that they're trying to go for the res right now. And instead, capitalizing off of that moment, trying to move through. And GYY is feeding the information like, I hear footsteps. You guys got to keep retreating.
All right, GYY is able to successfully crawl all the way in here. What a move by him. Now we've got Liga bouncing a grenade down and under. Is he going to catch any members of infantry with that? And you can see this is where this is all going to end up, right in the middle of nowhere.
If you want to see chaos, whenever you Molotov yourself, that's when you know things are going wrong. The push is coming down for QAM, and they just walk down onto infantry, take them down. So that moves us down to 10 alive with 4 teams up and active.
All right, Chaiwei trying to hold down this angle. It's going to actually be Liga that is going to find the Rascal Jesters. They get a 4th place, a decent finish, not too many kills for them.
But VC has the control on the outside right now, as well as GEX. Right as soon as we see QM have to move out of this position, it's going to be so bad for them. VC still on the hunt, sitting at 9 kills, just taking those shots back over towards GEX, and they're like, no, everybody that leaves Yasnaya is going to be ours. Stepping up now, moving forward into those aggressive spots. It's another shot coming out from VC, and DJ Boy shows up big.
Big games for China there. VC, 12 kills, doing an excellent job maintaining control over that hill by the mansion. They saw everything that was going on. They knew where all the teams were. They're able to move into that dip to the southeast of Yasnaya. They have relatively decent protection there as long as they don't get too aggressive. They waited for the right moments to make their moves into the fields.
Oh my lord, there was so much going on in Yasnaya. It felt like every single time we turned an angle, there was another player just sitting, waiting for someone to step out.
Those city games are just so wild. So much goes on once the circle starts to cut it off, and there's so many teams battling across it. Really great job by QM to make that early rotation where they moved into the southern part of Yasnaya.
And also for VC, because at some point you assume that it's going to move away from the buildings. It's got to go towards the fields. Everybody was kind of fighting each other, and VC was just capitalizing off that, picking up kills here and there, being that third-party factor on a different angle away from everybody inside of Yasnaya. And once that was all cleared out, they just got to sit back and wait and watch the destruction and go, oh, no, I'm going to kill you now too. I'm going to kill you. And then finally, they move out through that walled-in area, just mop up whatever comes your way.
I can tell you what, the Chinese fans were definitely disappointed with how the group stage started. Right now, they got to be feeling good because it's looking like a couple more teams are going to be joining 4 a.m. in the semifinals.
I mean, just a great performance coming out from VC. Anytime you can walk away with 12 kills, that is an absolutely phenomenal performance coming through there. I do feel kind of bad for a couple of those teams that just kept getting murdered inside of those fields, though, because it felt like there was just nowhere to go. There were so many shots coming from so many different angles.
Yeah, there's just not a lot you can do. There's so much verticality on that southern side of Yasnaya. You can see basically the whole field.
So with this, we're going to go ahead and let our analysts break down everything that was happening inside that